Another week, another game that I don't know what to say about my Pittsburgh Steelers. And this week, we are taking on the Buffalo Bills as they head into Pittsburgh. It's been a while since Buffalo, I think, has had a game in Pittsburgh where I've been able to watch Josh Allen and company roll into town. And I have so many thoughts about this game, but I don't know which thoughts will be real and true and all those things because the Bills look a lot like the Steelers. The Bills, at some points, I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this team is fantastic. And then there's other moments where I'm looking at this Bills team and I'm like, what was that? When I watched them play against the Texans, I was like, what was that? When I watched them play against the Falcons, I was like, what was that? And then I watched them play against Tampa Bay. And so my point is, and I watched them play against Kansas City. My point is I don't know who this Bills team is, honestly, because I don't know who any of these teams are in the NFL. I'm starting to realize that we never know what is going to happen week to week in the NFL. And there's a lot of matchups that are coming this week that I think might ring true to us not knowing like who anybody is anymore. And that is where I feel like the Bills are at. And that is quite frankly where I feel like the Steelers are at. I feel like there's moments where I think the Steelers team is going to be really great. We're going to lead in our defense and our offense is going to score enough points. And then there's other moments where I'm looking at the Steelers team and I'm like, our defense can't stop anybody and our offense can't get going. I think that's the same story for the Bills. The only difference with the Bills compared to the Steelers is the Bills have Josh Allen. So in a lot of ways, you would think the Bills can't have as many excuses as the Steelers have because technically we don't have like a solid quarterback. But we're very similar to this Bills team. And I think it's very interesting to see. So this matchup is going to be interesting, like I always do. Let me get to some things I'm thinking about when it comes to knowing who this Bills team is and some things that I've noticed that they've been doing throughout the season. So we all know Buffalo has Josh Allen. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how great Josh Allen is, how great he is at running the ball, how great he is at running defenses, how great he is at getting first downs. There's no point for me to make this video and talk about how great Josh Allen is. If you don't know Josh Allen is great, I don't know what to tell you. So there's that factor. The other thing that makes the Bills solid is their run game. James Cook is great at running the football. I don't care what anybody has to say. He is phenomenal at running the football and he makes this offense go. And the truth is though, the Bills need Cook to get going in this offense because where they struggle is their passing game. There's really not a deep threat that you are really worried about heading into this game, or really for the Bills right now. I think their offense struggles because they can't throw the ball downfield and they don't really have a solid wide receiver core. And so it leaves a little bit of like, okay, if Josh Allen can't beat us, right? Because if that offensive line breaks down like it's been breaking down, and Josh Allen can't beat us, and you can't run the football, what are you actually going to do? How are you going to come out of that? And that has been the Bills' problem, is they don't have a solid wide receiver core, so that's an issue. Their offensive line lately has been getting hurt and injuries, and all of these different things have been happening, but they have Josh Allen. And so sometimes it's like, it doesn't matter how bad it gets if you have a guy that can always course correct and always make bad things seem right. And that's kind of who the Bills are. For me, one of the biggest things about this game when I'm looking at the Bills is going to come down to how the Steelers are able to play this Bills offensive line, because that has been their weak point. I have this theory about quarterbacks where I always say I think quarterbacks are only going to be as good as their offensive line. And when your offensive line starts breaking down, when your offensive line starts getting hurt, it makes things complicated for quarterbacks. I don't care who the quarterback is. We all know if you get pressure on the quarterback, it makes the quarterback play harder. And so lately this Bills team is allowing people to get pressure on their quarterback. And so this Bills team is struggling with consistency just like the Steelers. They're struggling sometimes to get their run game going. Their pass game is all over the place. The defense is having their moments. And so again, this Bills team right now is struggling a little bit, similar to the Steelers. And so this game is going to be interesting just to see like what team doesn't struggle more than the other team. And that's really where I met with the Bills, because they do some things really well and then they do other things not great. But at the end of the day, none of that really matters if the star on your team, being the quarterback, isn't able to do what he needs to do in the pocket. And so that is something that obviously is going to be very important as the Bills head into Pittsburgh to play the Steelers on Sunday. If you haven't already, don't forget to do all the YouTube things. Make sure that you hit that like button, double check and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. Leave me a comment in the comment section below, and most importantly, turn on those notification bells so you never miss a single video. The keys to this game is going to be three simple things for me. It is going to be the Steelers' defensive line. If the Steelers are able to put pressure on Josh Allen, I think that that is going to be a key for the Steelers in this game, mainly because if you're able to nullify him and you're able to make him very one-dimensional, I think that's great because I don't think this Bills offense is built to score a ton of points, especially if they have to come from behind because their receivers, there's a little bit of a void there. And so if the Steelers defensive line can get pressure on Josh Allen, I think that's going to be point Steelers. I think the second thing that's going to matter here is turnovers. The Bills have not been good in the turnover battle. So the Steelers, being a team that really thrives off of turnovers, I think it's going to be important for them to get turnovers and to actually catch the interceptions that hit their hands. The Steelers being able to catch the interceptions that hit their hands would be absolutely phenomenal and would be a huge key to this game because they always seem to be in position right there and they just don't make the play. So the Steelers team being able to get pressure on Josh Allen is going to be huge. And then the Steelers' ability to create turnovers is also going to be very important. The other thing is going to be Aaron Rodgers. As the making of this video, I'm not sure if Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I have no reason to think that Aaron Rodgers is not going to play. So Aaron Rodgers is really going to hopefully do something with this offense because the offense has just been kind of doing a weird kind of thing here lately. And so I think Aaron Rodgers' ability to manage this game is going to be very important. I think our ability to win the turnover battle is going to be super important. And if this defensive line is not able to get pressure on this Bills offensive line, we're going to have a different problem because the Steelers team is supposed to be built on defense. So I'm going to expect the defense to do what the defense is actually supposed to do. And if they're able to do that, that's going to be great for the Steelers. I'm going to kind of cop out a little bit here when it comes to the X factor, because I think the X factor is going to be whoever is going to be consistent and whoever is going to be able to execute. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I could say so many different things here, but when I've watched the Bills play and when I've watched the Steelers play, there's two things that I feel like they struggle with. Consistently being able to get the job done, consistently being able to get off the field on third down, consistently being able to stay on the field on third down, consistently being able to do things that make sense. Super, super important. And that's something that I feel like both teams are struggling with. And then executing. When the play is there, execute it. If the ball hits your hands, you have to catch it. If there's a wide open gap, you have to run through the gap. If the quarterback throws you a great ball, you have to catch it. Like all of those little execution things, I think is going to be super important in this game because these two fan bases right now are blaming coaching for so many things that are going on. However, players are in positions to do things that make sense. They're just not executing and they're just not consistently making plays. And so for me, the key to this game is just going to be who can be the most consistent, who is going to execute better and who's going to be the most consistent. Because some of the things with both of these teams, you would think some of the things that they're supposed to do well, they just don't. And some of the things they're not supposed to do well, they're actually doing well. And so I expect the Steelers to have a game plan that comes into this game that is balanced and that makes sense. I hope that the Steelers offense decides that they want to throw the ball down the field. That would be actually fantastic if they decided they wanted to do that. And if this offense can maintain some type of consistency, that would also be good. And then on defense, I need my defenders to catch the ball if it hits their hands. By this point, I think I've said that a lot of times, so I'm hoping that you get the point. And then the other thing is I just need this defense to step up. I always say, I don't need my defense to be perfect. Do I want you to be perfect? Yes, but I don't need you to be perfect. But I need you to make plays. I need you to not make it so easy to be scored on. If this defensive line is supposed to be getting pressure on the quarterback, I need the defensive line to get pressure on the quarterback. It's like little basic things that I just need the Steelers to do right, because I do think the Steelers can win this game, but they have to play consistent. They have to execute, and they have to do the little things right. Our offense has to line up properly, right? We have to do things that actually make sense, and we cannot turn the ball over. Just basic things. That's all I'm asking for. At this point in the season, I'm asking my team to do basic things right. If we could do basic things right, that would be absolutely fantastic. However, you never really know with the Steelers team. You never really know what you're going to get. And the best part about that, we also don't know what the Bills are going to give us. And so at the end of the day, this is like a perfect storm. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in my next video.